Kia ora whānau. It's been so long since I've done one of these that I've actually almost forgotten how to use the gear. Welcome back, it's good to be back. You know, after lockdown finished, I had every intention of carrying on these Lightbulb Moments, but somehow it just never seemed to quite click, it never seemed to quite stick, and I found an excuse not to do it, if you know what I mean. And I was thinking about that the other day, you know, why is it that I haven't been doing these anymore? What is it that made me stop? And you know, you can come up with all the excuses about the busyness of life and other things that stress you out and that sort of thing. But actually thinking about it, I think the number one thing is this, right? I feel like the reason that these Lightbulb Moments work so well during lockdown is because all of a sudden we all had something in common. You know, we're all going through this totally new experience and we're going through it together. And well, since then, I don't know if our lives have gone back to normal, but certainly there's a lot more cars on the road than there were. That's Amanda from up at school. Hi Amanda. A lot more cars on the road, there's a lot of busyness going on in people's lives, and it's just not quite the same. And I think really when it comes down to it, the reason I haven't done more of these is because I'm worried that they might not be relatable anymore. You know, I'm a minister in the church, which is, there's not many of them around, you know, and most people's lives are actually, well, my life is pretty different from most people's lives. So I was worried that, you know, that what had made these successful was that people could relate to the experience that we're sharing together, and so my thoughts made sense to everyone. And so I worried that maybe without that, these things would fall on deaf ears, or even worse than that, I would feel like, you know, I was just moaning about my own life to people on the internet, which, you know, sounds like a pretty sad outcome for everybody. But actually, you know, thinking about it, there's something that sprang to mind. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember that kids' TV show from the 70s and 80s, 3, 2, 1, Contact. You know how the theme song goes, Contact, it's the answer, it's the reason why everything happens, Contact. And it had this like really trippy kind of intro sequence with, you know, a grey cat and a rocket taking off and gunpowder being lit and all this kind of stuff of moments of contact. And actually, I wonder if that's what these Lightbulb Moments are about. That moment where things just kind of click. And even though our lives are so different, there are points where we connect, where we're on the same page, just as human beings really. And my hope is that as we go through this crazy life together, whether our lives are the same or really different, that we'll be able to feel that point of connection and be encouraged that we're not in this on our own. You know, so often we feel like that, don't we? When things are not going the way we want them to, we feel like we're on our own. But the promise of faith is this, that we're never on our own, even through the hardest times, that God is always with us. I don't even know how to put it better than that, but God is always with us through thick and thin. And I know that I've experienced that, and I'm sure that you've had moments of that in your own life as well. I suppose my prayer for you, my encouragement for you as we go, is to seek out those points of contact with one another as human beings, but also points of contact with God and that experience of being part of something much bigger than ourselves. So anyway, welcome back. It's good to be back. I need to come up with a different catchphrase for the end of these, because happy hunkering doesn't work anymore when we're not hunkering down. So you know, feel free to click a like at the bottom or leave a comment with an idea for a catchphrase at the end of these things, and we'll see if we can get this show on the road for a bit longer, eh? Kia ora, and great to see you again. Bye.